Hey everybody, and welcome back to ContinueQuest. I'm Paul.
I'm Nick.
I'm Jen.
So we're gonna, I guess it's the next day. We just got back from our date with Paul that went terribly. And Hannah says, I spent the next few days desperately avoiding Paul and the rest of Continue. Nobody asked me any questions. Either I told them ahead of time what was up, or Paul did. Either way, it made me even less eager to show my face back at the table. Instead, I focused on catching up on my schoolwork and tournament practice, two things that had fallen completely by the wayside in favor of helping Paul with his campaign. What a dick. Both were just 3 weeks away, and I was getting increasingly nervous. Would I be able to win the tournament in my current state?
Nope.
Would Paul be able to beat Jeff and win the election?
Nope.
Damn, no faith in anything. Every time Paul crossed my mind, I got cross with myself.
Ooh.
Why did I still care about... I just took a court shit over that. Why did I still care about some guy who was clearly just using me for his own benefit? Why was I okay with something like that? I hope I turn this around.
I don't know, man. There's like
Damn.
2 dates in a row where you're like, oh, I don't think of you like that.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I'm getting secondhand embarrassment for myself in this
It
game.
should be. You terrible performance.
Yeah, just terrible. Just the worst. Why wasn't I angrier at him? Why did I still care about the things that made him happy? And even more than that, why were new campaign strategies still popping into my head at the most inopportune times?
Oh.
Why did I miss meeting with them and debating strategy? Why did I almost feel like I wanted to go back?
Oh.
Hannah, you're a glutton for punishment.
Dot.
I was
So suspenseful.
I was taking lunch by myself nowadays, not having the heart to ask Maya to separate from Jared and join me. I just want to watch this for a minute.
It's
Dude,
really
it's great.
pretty.
God, it's pretty. Every time.
What comes after the rest of those clouds? More clouds?
Probably. Do we wait to see the whole loop? It's got to just keep going. We're not going.
Okay.
In a way, it was nice. Peaceful, meditative, without the chaos and the feeling that people were always watching me. I told myself that I was just getting in touch with my nature, with my inner hippie. Wait, what? Hold on.
No privacy. Oh.
Wait, was this somebody's watching me?
Yeah.
Wait, did I miss that line? Did I not?
Yeah.
Oh my God! That people are always watching
me.
me.
And I got no privacy.
Who sings that? It's not.
Not Michael Jackson.
It's not
Michael
Michael
Jackson
Jackson.
sings backup vocals on that.
Okay. He wrote that, right?
Rockwell.
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 I think he's like Quincy Jones' nephew or something.
Okay. I
And
didn't
that's
know
how,
that.
that's how like the hookup
The
happened.
name works. For
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
He rocks well.
Michael Jackson should have just sang that song.
Pretty much.
Sometimes
But
He should have been like, Rockwell, that's great, but I'm going to take this. You know what I mean? He should have just been like, I'm just going to do it.
Rob, this is too good, man. I'm gonna keep this one.
It's got too good a hook.
you're right. People are watching you.
Cause of me.
I'm watching to see how you fuck this song up.
I always feel like somebody
This song belongs to me.
Yep, that one belongs to you, not me. Much better than what I was going to go
Gonna
for.
get the royalties. Oh.
I leaned my head against the rough bark of the tree
Yes.
behind me and closed my eyes. Shizuka wouldn't miss me if I took a little nap, right?
Oh, you skipping
Oh
class?
shit, she's gonna get bit by a werewolf.
Dude, she's gonna get ISS. That's even worse than a werewolf bite.
Dude.
I don't know. Kids in my graduating year had relations with the in-school suspension teacher, so ISS must not have been that bad.
Was it a male in
It was
ISS?
female.
What?
Yeah, she was like probably how old we are now.
Ew.
Whoa,
Zoinks, that's gross.
crazy.
Maybe a little younger.
I would like to
don't
know some details off air.
I don't really have many. I wasn't in
Oh.
the cool crowd.
I just want to know who she was.
Here's
I don't even know if I
And
know
ask
that
around.
anymore. It was a long time.
a face of
I'll
someone
take
who's
out a
being
yearbook.
Yeah. All right, bust it out.
Here's the face of someone who's being bit by a werewolf right now. She's screaming. Just so you know.
Ah, werewolf,
I didn't even get to scream.
full moon.
It's okay. You just did. You just did the.
Ah!
There you go. Something had fallen from the uppermost tree branch, landing before me with ninja-like agility. It's me! I threw my hands up over my hair to protect it, only to hear a rather familiar laugh. It's Nick!
Oh,
It's
it's
Ninja
me.
Nick!
Hanging in a tree. Why you always do that when you're surprised? It's not like I'm gonna give you a concussion or anything.
I don't believe it. Lowered my hands and frowned.
Why on earth?
Well, Hannah,
Nick scratched the back of his neck, searching for words.
you've been gone from the club for a while, and I kind of, I
Look at the cheeks.
needed some help with my homework and wanted to ask you.
I stared at him.
I'm not even in your grade.
Right, but you're a scholarship student, so you clearly know better than the rest of these Asagao peons.
Uh-huh.
Nick grabbed my hands and held them against his chest in a way that was all too familiar to me.
Oh, maybe where Paul has failed,
Nick's gonna
will
slide in, man.
succeed.
Maybe.
Please, Hana, I need your help. Only you know how to deal with me. Everyone else just gets frustrated and gives up.
Fine, I'll do it, okay?
Yeah! Ooh, double time.
Nick screamed and punched the air.
That's the way to
That's what you would
celebrate.
do.
That's what I would do. I'll see you in the library after class, okay? Don't bother changing your mind.
Damn, slick player.
Dude, give no out.
Ooh.
It was too late. He was off, sprinting across the field and out of earshot.
Dude.
I couldn't change my mind without hunting him down.
Get the dentist
Dot,
method going.
dot,
No, I would be the
dot.
Mac method.
What's that?
In Always Sunny, there's the dentist.
Yeah, I know the dentist method.
Yeah.
Oh,
What's
we
the
didn't
Mac?
get to the Mac method.
Yeah, the Mac is like coming in when they're like dejected.
That's in that episode, I think.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
moves in after it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then there's the Frank and then the Charlie after that.
Right, yeah.
To the library it is then.
I always feel like we're totally studying.
Mm-hmm. In the library. After
Oh.
class. I found Nick just inside the library, standing with a paper mache flower in his palm.
Ooh, dude.
Hi.
Leia.
Ready to get studying?
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
Look at his blushiness. As we searched for a small table we could have to ourselves, Nick fidgeted nervously, twirling the flower in his hands.
That's what I would do.
We finally settled on a small table in the back corner of the library, secluded and quiet. I took out my books, completely unsure of what to do or where to start. We were studying The Legend of the Two Kingdoms, in which an ancient kingdom was split into mirror worlds and a hero had to unite them, or something. The fourth years, on the other hand, were running some kind of weird democracy simulator.
So you said you were having trouble with the judicial branch of government, right?
I peered at my books, looking for anything to help me, when something slid into my field of vision. Dot, dot,
Dot,
dot.
dot.
It was the flower. Nick slid the paper flower in between the pages of my book. I took it and glanced at him. Dude, you're moving in.
Dude.
On my
Thank
woman.
you.
It's going to split us up.
I know.
I
No
couldn't
problem.
No
do
problem.
that.
It's because...
Stealing your lines because you're stealing my lady. He flushed.
It's because you're as beautiful as a flower.
I nodded slowly, setting the flower gently to the side.
Anyways, across the world, democracies can be split into different branches of government, one of which is judicial. In America, people...
Dot, 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 dot.
Nick was smiling at me and nodding, slight giggles escaping him every now and then.
So the different branches are necessary because the system of checks and balances is supposed to handle who has the power. So no one person or group gets too much of it.
A dreamy sigh fled from Nick's lips. I pursed my own.
Are you paying attention?
Right, absolutely.
Lovesick Nick. Nick nodded happily. He seemed content just to sit there and look at me, and it made me really uncomfortable.
Oh, I do not make girls uncomfortable.
Of course
For
not.
the record.
Of course not.
But if Paul and I just started darting,
Oh, dude, I
Dating.
swoop right in, Jen.
and then you'd swoop in,
Yeah, I just said it.
Damn.
That's fucked up.
It is.
This is how I would react too. I'd be like, this is weird.
Nah, I wouldn't do the flower. That's just weird.
Flower's not your way.
That's just weird.
Anyways, I don't think I can help you much more than that. I don't understand this all that well. We're on basic myths and mythology. We're still on.
Nick set up an alarm.
But I need your help with my math.
I shook my head quickly, stuffing my books into my bag.
I'm terrible at math and geography and all other subjects. So
Wait.
Nick grabbed onto my jacket sleeve just as I was about to leave. Wary, I turned to face him.
So wanted to ask you,
I winced, really not wanting to hear his question.
are you and Paul really dating?
I blinked rapidly.
what?
Well, I heard the interview and there were all those rumors floating around, so when I asked Paul, he just chuckles and shakes his head, and since he isn't giving me any information, I decided to come to you.
He hasn't said anything about it?
About what? Then you are dating him.
No, I'm not dating him. We're purely platonic.
I cursed my stupid stutter, always butting in when least necessary.
So it isn't stutter.
Yeah. But Nick
Yeah.
nodded with childish glee. You're right. We
Mhm.
talked about that.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
You are?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't want romance to complicate a lovely friendship quadrangle we've got going on here.
I think you mean rectangle.
See, I could use your help.
Sorry, I forgot that I have an important game to be playing.
I tugged my sleeve out of his grasp, and he stumbled out of his chair.
Hana, wait! Oh, who's
Oh,
this?
shit. Wait, Jen, do the voice.
Can I touch
Jen,
this
it's a female voice. Do a female voice.
You can do a female voice?
Dude, she looks
She
looks hard.
She does. Give her a roll.
She's
Angry
got real
voice.
angular haircut, man.
Mr. Murphy, I do think you know what the most basic role of any library in existence.
Right.
Hope I never have to
Sorry,
do that again.
ma'am.
Good. I never have
Just
to do
got
that
out
again.
of it.
Woo!
Just got out.
I would've forgot
No more
immediately.
Librarian.
I sped out of the library. I smiley tickling me lips.
Tickling me nipsies.
If Paul hadn't told anybody, that meant my humiliation was only known to me and him. All the fears I had, all the reasons to avoid the group, faded into the background. As horrible as it would be to face Paul again, I was ready to do it. It was time to get back into the game. Back in the game. The next day, I stood again in the lunch line with Mai, gathering a motley assortment of fruits and vegetables on my plate.
It's not going to be weird, is it?
I mean, I told them you were having lady problems, which is true in a way, so I doubt they're going to ask you a ton of questions. You know how guys get all squeamish about that kind of thing.
I nodded. Despite the fact that Paul hadn't told anybody, I was still terrified about facing the club. Slipped into it like an old glove, Nick.
It came right out.
Damn! Back at it again with the my voice. No.
Damn, Nick. Back at it again with the my voice.
It's too good. It's too good.
No, if I was honest with myself, it was with facing Paul. He knew exactly why I avoided him for almost a full week. The election was drawing nearer and nearer, and as the pressure ramped up, I vanished. I just think I read that completely wrong. What a responsible campaign manager. If he didn't already hate me for trying to force a kiss out of him, he hated me for being irresponsible. Still, part of me was a little bit mad at him for trying to use me the way he had. I latched onto the thin thread of anger, use it to power my shaking legs toward the normal boots table.
Hana, you're back. I was getting really worried about you. Are you feeling better? If you needed help, you could have called on me. I would have gotten whatever you needed in a heartbeat.
Dude, he would have got you pads.
Mm-hmm.
Would have got me pads.
Yeah. Didn't
That's
he
awesome.
say that he was going to do that for you? He would do that for you?
Did I?
I don't know. What just prompted that?
Because he said he would do anything, and that he knew that.
Oh, I thought
she
Gerard
had
actually said that to you in
lady
California.
time. No.
And I was like, oh, that's good to see Gerard
yes,
doing that.
Gerard
run
offered
to
to get
there.
me feminine products when we were visiting.
Hey, man, I
out
can see him
in
doing
LA.
that. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He is. I'm sure he would have. I'm sure if I needed it. But no, that did not happen. I was saying it because Mai told them that she had lady problems.
Yeah.
I know. I'm having a hard time separating myself from all the layers of reality
It's
that's
very
because
going
you're
on.
connected.
actually in
It's
this
very
game.
Yeah.
connected.
I laughed nervously. Gerard's kindness put me at ease, but the fact that he brought up my absence first made me uncomfortable. Thankfully, as I glanced around the table, I realized Paul, Nick, and Josh were nowhere to be found.
Good.
Was there a meeting I didn't know about? All the better then.
Thanks, Gerard. How's the search for Princess Pumpernickel?
Not good. Not good at all.
Still sounded so positive.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a matter of time before I find her. She can't hide from me forever.
Gerard beamed at me, and his optimism was infectious. My guard fell, and I slipped back into the steady, confusing conversation that generally floated around the normal Boots Club table. Shut up, Brad. Shut up right now. Shut up right now. Shut up right now, you stupid butt.
God damn it.
We're back. Satchel sad.
Satch.
If I just had enough time, I'm sure I could make a huge breakthrough. But the librarian is really getting on my case.
Yeah,
She's
her
gonna be
angular.
back
Okay.
now.
Yeah, dude. Oh wait, how's Jared go? Real deep, right?
Yeah, it's real deep and it's like real bombastic.
And now Mr. Saitama's withholding the permission to use the theater stage, which I got from him ages ago.
Yeah, I don't think it's quite as deep, but that was pretty close.
You're right. none of the actors can take time off from class to prepare, which I get. But at this rate, it's going to be a disaster.
So many A's. I slurped my noodles, eyebrows raised. I wasn't the only one with problems, it seemed. The rest of the boys were too caught up in their own situations to have spared much of a thought for my well-being. All except for Gerard and...
Things going well for you?
It was an innocent question, but the quirk of his brow made me feel he was getting at something else.
I am trying to put it behind me, I think.
Oh, really? I mean, oh, really?
I glared at him and he smiled.
Well, not that it makes me happy, but you know, I was kind of wondering whether at some point we could...
Damn, everyone's moving in. Hana!
Double time.
Hands grabbed my shoulders and I jumped, flinging them off of me. Whoa!
No,
Intense.
Double.
Hey, PBG, soccer going good? Dot, dot,
dot. Yeah.
Anyway, Hana, I was hoping I could talk to you privately about something. Horror shot through my stomach and I bowed my head. There was nothing I could do. I had to accept my fate.
Sorry, PBG.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
So sarcastic.
I got up and followed Paul from the cafeteria, feeling eyes watching us all the way to the door. Out the door. In the fresh air, I let out a heavy sigh.
Thank God. I hate it when people stare.
I'd have thought you were used to it by now, what with your hair.
Yeah, don't have pink hair.
I had put a hand defensively to my bangs, and Paul backtracked. Because it's pretty. ... I guess you being stared at is partly my fault, isn't it? Well, with the rumors and all. I said nothing. He was getting dangerously near addressing what happened the week before, and the sudden nausea overtaking me didn't make me inclined to speak. Actually, I wanted to talk to you about that. Kind of. He clapped his hands together, then pointed at me square in the face. I have a plan.
A plan?
Yes, a plan. You see, you and I are going to pretend to date.
It's going to be horrible.
God, Paul.
He clapped his hands together again, and then Jazz handed them out in the large circle. Wha-bam!
Whoa, bam.
My throat caught, but I tried very hard not to be upset.
Why on earth would I do that?
Was he making fun of me? Or did he genuinely not understand what a completely terrible and insensitive idea that was? Well, the reason people are paying you so much attention is because we haven't answered the question of whether we're dating. Or we have, but no means the same thing as no comment. If we just answer the question properly and tell them we are dating, there's no way they'll keep following you around the way they're doing. The campaign will get a nice bit of publicity, and you'll be safe from the horror that is our occasionally idiotic student body. He bowed gallantly and peered up at me through his bangs.
Bangs.
Sound good?
No, it does not sound good. When are you going to stop treating me like I'm some kind of thing you can just milk for publicity's sake? Do you not understand that I have feelings?
My eyes widened as I realized what I just said and the ways it could be taken.
Wait, no. That's not what I... Never mind. Forget it.
I stalked back into the cafeteria, Paul trailing me like a duckling following its mama. But Hana, that's not what I'm doing. You know that's not what I'm doing, right? I grabbed my bag and took my tray to throw it out.
Hana.
Explaining nothing, I fled the cafeteria, heading I knew not where. As long as it was far, far away from Paul, I would be happy.
Damn, like everybody.
Yeah, I'm the worst.
Chapter.
Bore, you boring
Oh.
You're pawing it.
Paul on it. It wasn't long before I found myself in an actual place instead of just wandering the halls endlessly.
Comes that librarian again.
Mhm.
No!
I stepped into the
I'm gonna have to
library.
talk
You
to
should sound like
myself.
that. Be quiet in here!
No, I don't want it. That would hurt too much if I had to do that.
Yeah, that
for
would
an
be
extended
tough if you
period
had
of
to do
time.
like a full scene. I stepped into the library and meandered through the shelves, mind racing. Had I overreacted? Was Paul really being a jerk, or was I being too sensitive? It took such a level of either complete disregard or complete stupidity to ask me something like that after our misunderstanding. I couldn't fathom it. There was no way he could have done it with good intentions. As I switched from one aisle to the next, my steps slowed. I traced my fingers along the back spines of the book looking at titles. Guide to the internet for supremely dumb people. The hope that hope hoped. Ancient alchemy as described by an immortal bunny.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Asagao's collections of books was unique and thorough, and I regretted that I hadn't spent much time here until now.
Yes, not me.
Who does Mr.
I
Saitama?
think I do. Oh, hello. It's you again.
I jumped slightly. Mr. Saitama stood next to me, peering over my shoulder.
I didn't take you for one interested in the
Alchemical.
alchemical
Mhm.
alchemical process of bunnies, but now I feel short-sighted.
He smiled at me, and I smiled hesitantly back.
I was hoping I would run into you again. It's not often one meets someone such as yourself. Oh, damn.
This
Hana's
Yeah.
gonna dance.
He's
Dude,
gross.
Mr.
He's gonna
Saitama.
hit
Gross
on her.
Fletcher.
Dude, maybe he's the ISS teacher.
The ISIS
Yeah.
teacher?
No!
ISS, in school suspension.
Oh, okay. Yeah, ISIS,
Yeah.
School
Hey,
ISIS.
dude, you get,
Dude, you get fucked in
man.
in ISIS.
Yeah.
What?
You get ISS, you get
In
ISS
school suspension.
in high
I
school,
talked
man.
about that earlier.
Oh, that was the girl that fucked
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you get fucked, so it's good. Okay.
Oh, so join ISIS.
Oh,
Don't-
God. This show just got
Gone too
flagged.
far. All right, bye, guys.
Too far.
He gestured to the top.
Jokes.
He gestured to the top of my skull. It took me a few seconds to realize he was referring to my hair.
You know, I knew a young woman who reminded me of you. She didn't have pink hair like you do, but she had the same eyes. You wouldn't happen to be a Mizuno, would you? Oh, damn, he knew her mom!
What?
but
But how?
He gave a hearty laugh.
Some Harry Potter shit.
Mhm.
Your mother seemed the type not to let go of her maiden name. I'm happy to see that hasn't changed.
Hadn't. She's no longer with us.
To my surprise, Mr. Saitama nodded, as if he fully expected this.
It's not rare to see something like that in her case.
What?
What do you mean? How did you know my mother?
The old man twirled his beard, eyes glinting.
I taught her flower arrangement in her old school, long before I was appointed to Asagao. She was exceptionally talented. I remember she wanted to start a flower shop.
My father makes pottery, and they sold the flowers and the vases they were potted in.
The old man hooted again, slapping his knee.
Hoot! A clever idea. Clever she was, too. I see you share her intelligence. It would be difficult for someone of your financial status to come here otherwise.
I glanced down at my clothes, suddenly self-conscious. It wasn't that apparent that I didn't have money, was it?
I suppose it's the curse of the main character, isn't it? Breaking the fourth wall, he said.
Main character. Mai called me that too.
He nodded sadly.
You can't help the effect you have on people around you. Don't fret, my dear.
Why does it sound like you're talking in circles? Are you trying to tell me something, or...
Genre savvy, too. But you get it then. Sometimes people find different ways to say what they want to say. Don't worry so much about that boy. I know he's difficult to deal with, but he really has the best intentions. If you can believe in that, you will overcome everything.
He nodded sagely, then turned away.
You're just leaving then?
He crept slowly away, resembling a toad, or at least a small green imp of some sort.
I said the important thing, and you took it in. Goodbye forever.
I frowned. Whatever his motive for approaching me in the library to deliver cryptic information regarding something he had no way of knowing just happened. Wait, what? Did I read that right?
No way of knowing just happened.
Just happened. His advice was sent. I looked like a period.
Comma.
Sorry. I had, after all, refused Paul's offer. That should be the end of that. The least I could do was show up to the meeting after class. If I didn't do that, I might as well leave the campaign. Bitterly, I shoved the books as far back in their shelves as they could reach, smiling when I heard the satisfying clunk of their ends hitting the wood. Sorry, from this distance, it's hard for me to differentiate between periods and commas
It's okay.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Very
Don't defend
Just read them
yourself.
as like run-ons.
Oh, I'm not allowed to defend. I'm
Don't
not
even
allowed
just
Everything's
like
a
pause
run-on.
for anything, yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll just keep going then. There were only 2 weeks until the tournament and the election. I could last until then. I avoided I'm not going to do that. I avoided Mai's and PBG's questioning eyes all through class, concentrating intensely on the small doodles I made in the corner of my notebook. Only one person had seen the whole thing coming and therefore accepted my odd behavior. John. When I made eye contact with him, he nodded at me, a sympathizing smile on his lips. Then he looked away. Finally, class was over and I pulled on my backpack. The end of days had come. It was time to swallow my pride.
Days had come.
Seeing the grim determination on my face, I frowned.
Are you sure you're gonna be okay?
Don't worry, Mai.
I stretched my neck, then grinned.
I'll be fine.
Here it comes. I stood outside of the meeting room, heart in my mouth.
Heart in my mouth?
Yeah.
Is that a
It's like,
saying?
like where your chest is pounding and it feels
No,
like it's
I
in your
know.
throat? Okay. I know the feeling, Paul. Shut up.
I know the
I've
feeling,
eaten a heart before.
but I've never heard anybody describe it that way.
It wasn't until it wasn't often I had to swallow my pride. It wasn't often I had to face a room full of people and tell them that, although I meant what I said. I completely overreacted. I swallowed hard. When I entered the room, the three boys, who had been discussing something in a tight circle in the center of the room, turned to stare me down like the worm I was.
Hey guys.
Hana! It was an awkward stalemate. Nobody moved either to welcome me in or to shove me out. I closed the door and walked to my usual chair, setting my bag down in its seat.
So I wanted...
I'm sorry. I stared at Paul in surprise. Sensing the tension in the air, Nick and Josh stepped out of the room and gave us our space.
You were sorry?
I wanted to pretend like your allegations were false, but I realized you were correct. I was using you for publicity and not particularly treating you like a human being or a full-fledged member of the team. There are reasons for this, but I don't think I can tell you why. It would only make things worse between all of us. So for now, I hope you can accept my full apology and my intentions to change my behavior. He bowed 90 degrees in front of me and I threw up my hands.
Please stop this. Stop. Straighten up. Stop.
He was acting like an actual politician towards me, like we weren't even friends. I physically grabbed him and straightened him up.
Sit.
I pointed at the teacher's desk and he obediently sat on the edge.
Paul, look. I know the election has been putting a lot of stress on you, but you've got to live life outside of it too.
I know I do. You don't have to tell me this.
Are you sure? I think I do. You've been relating everything back to the election. I haven't heard you talk about the tournament or your classes in weeks. I don't even think Jeff's got much of a leg on you. We're clearly in the lead with all the publicity we've been doing.
That's what you think. I disagree. Most students seem disinterested in the election. If we could just get a way to make them active participants in our name... He started and I jumped. I've got it! Nick! Josh! Nick and Josh burst through the door of the classroom and looked from me to Paul. Yeah. Let's have a date auction.
A date auction?
What do young people care about? If online auto-completion searches are to be believed, they care about one thing. Romance.
I'm not sure I could put it that differently. I can't do Josh. I've never
No,
done
that was good.
Yeah.
I'm not a good Josh.
Right now, Asagao is against romance, but if we can find a way to make romance approachable, to make it fun, to turn it into a fundraiser for the school, it's a win-win. I stared at Paul in shock. He heard absolutely nothing I just said to him, and I couldn't tell whether I found his relentless drive annoying or adorable. Certainly, it was awe-inspiring. I doubt I could make any guys compete in a date auction, but that's where you come in, Hana. I need you to gather all the girls you can from your dorm or your classes or wherever, as long as they're girls and students at Asagao, or whatever, as long as they're girls and students at Asagao. Rally together the army. This will be my final play. Nick and Josh politely clapped. I wanted to crawl into a hole. There was, again, nothing I could do. You'll do it, won't you, Hana? You'll take the women folk for me? You'll talk to the women folk for me? You'll take them.
Oh!
Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop,
I'm so
beep, boop, beep, boop,
indecisive.
beep, boop, beep. Do whatever feels right in the moment.
What's it gonna be, Jen? Yes?
I can see you're not going to
Or
let
no.
this go.
I don't know, but what if it's it?
She said that. Paul nodded eagerly, the fire of 7 horse-drawn chariots in his eyes.
Ah! Now we'll never know.
I sighed. See you guys in a week.
Bye-bye.